Hola, están viendo Weho Sport.
You are watching Weho Sports.
I am watching Weho Sports.
Mr. Hongo Chatter. Weho Sports. Weho Sports.
It's all around responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible baseball, basketball, volleyball, too. Indoor, outdoor games for you. No matter if you're tall or short, it's all around responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible rounds, responsible, yeah.
Hi, my name is Ken Todd. I'm Lisa Vanderpump's husband. I'm Jiggy's, the person that carries Jiggy, and I give a good shout out to Weho Sports.
I'm PJ, and you're watching Weho Sports.
This is Jimmy Rollins, and you're watching Weho Sports Show. Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Kiki Hernandez, and you're watching Weho Sports Show.
I'm Justin Turner, and you're watching the Weho Sports Show.
And we're going to begin to introduce a wonderful guest that make his trip all the way from New York. His name is Justin Sammuel, and he's a screenwriter and a historian. He is a graduate from Cornell University with a BA in history. He's currently a grad student at Columbia University, and during the day, he's a teacher in ESL. Justin is also a member of the WGA, which is the Writers Guild of America East. Well, welcome, senor. How are you?
Welcome. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
You know, we've been talking for a few days and stuff, and I love that you are here in LA, and you know, hopefully you'll be back to do your thing in LA.
Definitely. I'll be coming back throughout the year. My next trip here is in March, and after I'm done at Columbia, I will be moving here. I love LA. It's the most awesome city.
Now, you're a screenwriter. You have written a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit of some of the stuff that you have written.
Well, it's mainly been the stuff that's mainly out there. I've written news articles for Up at News. The stuff that got me into the Writers Guild East around the point of Occupy Wall Street, I was taking like various footage of Occupy Wall Street. So some of my videos were quoted by other news sources, like particularly news sources that were critical of Occupy, actually, like Breitbart or The Blaze, which is affiliated with Fox News. But I became sort of known from that, and you know, like I have like I've made money from that via Amazon. So that's really how I got into the Writers Guild. So it's mainly been more like news/documentary writing. But I have written feature screenplays, which my feature screenplay Wine Tasting was a finalist at Sunscreen Film Festival West at the end of last year, and also at Evolution Mallorca Film Festival. Sunscreen is in LA, and Evolution is in Spain. So
fantastic.
Yeah, and I was also the winner of the Hot List on Virtual Pitch Fest. Wine Tasting was. So that screenplay, Wine Tasting, has been making its rounds in Los Angeles, and pushing my other scripts too, but Wine Tasting is the one that's come along the furthest so far.
But I mean, you don't stop just writing drama. I mean, you've been writing everything from sci-fi to actions to romance and mystery.
I have. Wine Tasting was the one that I just sent out the most broadly to like film festivals and like out to producers. But I've been in like a fantasy/animation Nana. I've written Poker Face, which is a comedy. I've written Lunatics, which is a horror. Office Problems is a thriller. I've certainly written a lot of stuff.
And I think we got pictures of your books that you already written, right?
Oh, yeah.
If that director can go to the pictures, then there you go. And you can tell us a little bit about them. Mother of Witches?
Oh, those were just like my first trial, my first I was experimenting with writing, so I wrote some ebooks. Not my favorite things. Yeah, but I was going to say that I've done a lot of work to those projects since, so, I mean, I do like the ebooks, but I'm much more excited about the scripts that I have now because I've had my share of feedback from writers on the Blacklist and like other people on my scripts who have like basically said, we like this, we hate this, but I really appreciated the feedback from all sources, so I feel that I've gotten a lot better as a writer since then. And having that industry feedback from multiple people, script readers and others.
Nice. Explain the Blacklist. Because for a lot of people, they don't know what the Blacklist is.
The Blacklist was originally like a list of like the highest unproduced scripts in Hollywood, and a lot of them have gone on to become major movies like Juno. It was originally compiled by Franklin Leonard out in LA. So he since has made a website called The Blacklist. So if you post your scripts on the Blacklist, you can pay for like evaluations from like industry readers. These are people who work at like studios or production companies or management firms or agencies. And they're very good in terms of critiquing your script. If you get a high score, you advance. But other people on the Blacklist because producers or agents or managers have nominated them. And the Blacklist is recently, they're expanding, put it like that. They're setting up some sort of profile. Sort of like a social networking service for people in the industry, with the screenwriters or other industry people. And so that's what they are. But I mean, they're a very good service. The Blacklist frequently goes to Writers Guild events, like in New York and LA. Plus, they hold their own industry events for screenwriters, and they collaborate with a lot of screenwriting labs and film festivals. They're very well known and very well respected within the industry.
Fantastic. So, some of your things that you have done have gone global, and they've been in a lot of the news channels. Which one would you feel more proud of it?
Well, I like my stuff from Occupy Wall Street that was like cited by various news sources. Like when Occupy was going on, you can find some of my stuff. Some writers on Breitbart, like Lee Stranahan, cited my work. Then like my videos that were cited by The Blaze a while ago. My news stuff is what started it all for me. So I like the news work that I've done. And though I liked doing the news stuff, I kind of wanted to move more into fiction, away from the news stuff. I mean, I do like news and I do like activism. I've done my share of that, but I really wanted to, like, recently I decided it was really time to pick up with my fiction again. Particularly my narrative stories, like, for film. It's really time to, like, really push it. How I really feel about New York is, I mean, I love my home city. I do love New York, but I feel that I've apexed here. So I kind of want to be done with New York, and New York is more news, more like news or theater or publishing, film and TV, or week in New York, so I need to be in LA.
Fantastic. So now I'm going to dig into some of the things that you like. So what's your favorite music? I know you like Ricky Martin.
Yes.
What's so about Ricky Martin that you like?
Well, I liked his dance music, Living La Vida Loca. He's a very fun artist. This is long before he came out as gay, or I even thought about thinking him. I mean, he was a good-looking guy, but I never really thought to think he was gay, but he really had very good, fun party music, in both English and in Spanish, or both. So that's really how I got to like him. But the fact that he came out later, and I was really proud, that he came out, and that helps other artists in the industry, because if you talk about 20 years ago, you very rarely saw out people in entertainment.
True.
And although the entertainment industry is in LA, which has its share of gay people, you very rarely saw that. So I'm happy that people can be out and be their professional selves. I mean, have their careers and be out.
I see. And books, Color Purple.
The Color Purple I thought was such a good period piece. It takes place like in the 30s or in the... Wait, I don't know, whatever. In the 30s or in the 40s. But I thought it was such a good piece of like... It was an emotional piece of like what could have happened to someone at that time. So I thought it was like a very touching story. It was the first movie that Whoopi Goldberg was in, and I thought that Whoopi Goldberg opened doors for a lot of people in terms of... She was a black actress who had all kinds of roles instead of stereotyped roles.
That's true.
So I felt that she opened the door for a lot of people in Hollywood who came after her.
And she's still doing it.
Yes.
Movies. Why Did I Get Married?
Why Did I Get Married too, especially? It was really... Tyler Perry at that point had been moving on beyond his Medea character. So he'd been moving on to other stuff, and he can be pretty good at drama. Like, so this is sort of the first taste of that. And I like his stuff on the Oprah Winfrey Network, like The Haves and the Have-Nots. But Why Did I Get Married To had some... Janet Jackson was good in the second one. So I loved it.
Teacher was.
Yes.
Television. Xena Warrior Princess.
I love Greek and Roman mythology, so Hercules and Xena were based on that. Not literally, they changed a lot of stuff, but it was awesome. I love sci-fi and fantasy, and Xena was such a good woman hero. I loved Wonder Woman. I like warrior women. I like warrior men too, so I like warriors in general. I like superheroes, but Lucy Lawless played that role awesomely, and so did Renee O'Connor for Gabrielle. They were awesome.
Fantastic. How about games? Cheap Minecraft? Do you like, in games? Do you like cheap Minecraft?
Oh, I have no idea why I selected that. I think I played it once or twice. I must have played it once or twice, but I haven't played like video games in a long time.
I was gonna say that's when you're a writer.
To be years ago, used to be a very big video game person, but now I don't know anything what's going on in video games. I don't. I'm just out of the habit. Like, what happened? Like many years ago in high school, I used to play all the video games. I used to watch all the TV shows, and when I went away to Cornell, that killed all that. And so afterwards, when I'm old enough, you know, like Cornell's done and I'm out working, and when I cannot be at work, I wanted to go out to the bar, or I wanted to go out to bars. I wanted to go swimming in the gym, and so TV and video games, I didn't have as much time. I still do watch some stuff, and now Facebook, social media, takes a lot of time away from my video games. Like, I'd rather be chatting with people on Facebook or talking to people.
Fantastic. I'm not a video game person either, so I'd rather do the same thing that you do. You know, talk to people, and I love talking and running my mouth. So, athlete, Carmelo Anthony. Why Carmelo Anthony?
He's married to Lala, and I remember Lala is the VJ. He's for the Knicks in New York, but he's also married to Lala, and I knew Lala is like the VJ from MTV on a lot of TV shows.
Right.
So I love Lala, and he's married to Lala, so he's awesome.
Okay. Sport teams.
I like the New York sports teams just because I'm from New York. After I'm settled out here, like end of this year, I'll probably switch it to LA's teams. But for right now, just like the New York ones, just because it was sort of like a hometown thing.
Because
like,
your heart is there, right?
Yeah, like it. The Mets, the Yankees, the Jets, the Giants, Knicks. Although I will say that like years ago, I used to watch a lot more sports, but my other activities killed off a lot of my TV watching, so I'm not as up to date on sports as I used to be.
Activities, hiking and running.
I like being physically active. I have ADHD. It's gotten better in my older age, but when I was younger, I couldn't sit still, so I would have to go out and run, or I'd have to go out and hike, which I still do if I'm in a good mood. Sometimes I can't sit still, and I will go jogging. I do like swimming. I like being active. This winter, luckily, wasn't that bad in New York, but when it gets really cold, that kind of slows down my activity, which is why I want to be in a warmer place where if I feel motivated to like run around or do more active things, it's better to stay in shape and be slim, so I need to watch my weight.
So since we've been talking about sports, and because it's a sports show, we're going to talk about Sin City, which is right now one of the major sports that a lot of these gay teams from Los Angeles are going. And I'm going to play a clip, and then we're going to talk about all the teams that are going and they are going to be there. So, you know, like arm wrestling. Have you ever done arm wrestling?
Just for fun.
Oh, that's good.
For fun. I meant not as a competition, but yes, I have.
Badminton.
No.
No? Basketball. I mean, I would say you're tall enough to play ball.
I mean, like, not since, like, I had to do PE in high school.
Okay.
But I have years ago.
Okay.
But it wasn't my favorite sport.
Biller.
No.
Bodybuilding.
No. I mean, I've got it in better.
You like the gym?
I do like the gym. The stuff I did in the gym, I didn't want to become really muscular, so when I was a lot more active in the gym, I did kickboxing. So kickboxing goes along with me always wanting to be active. It builds your muscles, but very slightly. You're still skinny. They just get harder.
Okay, that's cool. Bowling. You ever bowl? No. Bridge.
No.
You ever play bridge? Darts.
Yes.
In the bar?
In the bar, yes.
Okay. That's where I connect darts more in the bar than anything else. Dodgeball.
No.
Never even in high school? You never played dodgeball?
No, I don't think I know.
Flag football.
No.
Frisbee.
Yes.
Where you played at?
Frisbee, like high school, maybe in college too. Yeah, I think I played Frisbee in college.
Golf?
Never.
Ice hockey?
Never.
Kickball?
Yes.
In high school, right?
Yeah. Elementary through high school, so for years.
Polo?
No, I got invited to the water polo team at Columbia. I go swimming, and sometimes day of practice, I would overlap and be there. But I was like, wow, they're excellent, good swimmers. I am too, but I'm like, I want to get in shape to like compete against them. And my class schedule was such that it screwed up my going to water polo. Like, I had a hard time finding time. But I would maybe in the future.
You like running?
I do like running.
Okay. Rock climbing?
I've done that before. Cornell, the Gorges, had some pretty steep. It was steep. So I rock climbed. Some friends of mine and I, we would do it. We really weren't supposed to do it because it was steep and we were doing it unsupervised, but I did it.
Soccer?
I haven't done that in years, but yes, I played soccer.
Oh, what position?
I don't even
Defense,
remember.
forward?
Maybe like defense. It was in Paraguay, or like just kind of like years ago.
Okay. And Paraguay's big on soccer. That's
Very big in soccer, yes.
Number more sport. Softball?
Yeah, high school.
Okay. And swimming, of course.
Swimming, I still do. I still swim. I love swimming, my favorite sport. I can do the front crawl, the breaststroke. Sometimes I swim underwater. Very rarely do I swim on my back, but I love swimming. I've swum in the ocean, and like the riptides, when the currents would come in and go out near the inlets in New York City, I would jump in the riptides. Like, I know how to swim with them. You basically, if the tide is going fast, you swim in the direction of the tide and you move towards shore and you get out.
Okay.
Or sometimes if I really want to give myself a workout, I would swim against the riptide. It's totally safe if you know what you're doing as a swimmer, but if you don't know how to swim, there are people who panic and get swept out by the riptides. But I like jumping in. Just people at the beach, the ones who know how to swim would jump in the riptides and have fun with it.
And when you move to LA, would you like to partake in the swimming team? I mean, they got an awesome swimming team.
I am sure I probably would. I mean, I will definitely find a place to swim, and maybe I will partake in the swimming team, but I'll definitely find a place to swim. I love swimming.
How about tennis?
I've never played tennis. A friend of mine has been inviting me in New York, but I have not tried it yet.
And volleyball?
Yes, I played volleyball.
And wrestle?
I've never tried to seriously wrestle. Like, maybe just for fun against a couple of times, but I've never really tried to, like, go all out and, like, be good.
So all of those are the sports that are going on this weekend in Sin City from tonight, starting tonight.
Yes.
To the end of the weekend.
Yes.
So they're expecting over 8,500 athletes plus the fans or whatever. That's pretty good, you know?
Yes.
That's a great, turnout for gay athletes.
Yeah, and I'm happy that it's getting this coverage and that people are doing this, because being gay doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like physical fitness, and everybody, whether they're male or female or gay or straight, has their favorite sports. So I'm happy to see that not just like gays organizing various athletic teams or whatever, but even on TV, like women's sports are getting a lot more attention. Play, like women's sports get a lot more coverage now.
More TV and stuff. You're right.
Now you're having like a lot of athletes starting to come out. So I'm really happy to see like athletes and professional teams are starting to come out, and yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit, since we're talking about coming out.
Yes.
This controversial thing with the FIFA. They have fined 5 different teams because their fans have been saying gay slurs to the players. And I don't understand how they contradict themselves when they gave the World Cup to Russia and Qatar, which are very anti-gay.
I don't understand that either, because with the policies that are in law in Russia and Qatar, it's like legally discriminatory. I mean, they oppress basically gay people. So for something like that, I feel that FIFA should have said, if you're going to be this much against human rights, where for human rights of all people, regardless of your race, your gender, your sexual orientation, we cannot hold the World Cup here. And to fine countries and like sanction countries because some fan said something homophobic when you won't stand up to government seems very hypocritical. Like, if you're going to fine these teams for not speaking out against their fans for saying homophobic things, like, why would you want this to be in 2 countries that have laws that legislate persecution against gays?
But see, that was funny, because we were one of the first people that started talking about when the Mexican fans basically call a goalie when he's kicking off a fag.
Yes.
Every time, and you hear the whole crowd calling the goalie a fag and all this other stuff. So they only got fined $19,000, almost $20,000. That's nothing. That's chichen, but Mexico's already fighting it and saying that they're now responsible for their fans.
Yes.
Do you think the fine goes with it or no? Do you think, I mean, I think it might work. It might have some of these fans lay back now if that, I mean, I think they're putting pressure on, like, the Mexico City to tell their fans, look, you can't be discriminating and saying those kind of crap on national TV and stuff, because I remember ESPN was talking, after we started talking, then ESPN started talking about it and saying, you know, they're really saying a really bad word.
Yes.
And I remember one time at the World Cup, they turned down the volume when the goalkeeper was going to kick so that people would not hear that chant.
Yes.
And I don't know if it will work. What do you think?
Maybe it'll work. I think it's a start. And maybe like the president of FIFA, although I think he needs to do a lot more, and I definitely think that he should have sanctioned Russia in the sense that we're not going to have the World Cup here, we're not going to have it in Qatar, but I think that maybe this is their way of starting out and testing things to see how it'll go. So I think it's a start. I think a lot more needs to be done, but even though I think he's contradicting himself, I will give him credit for a start, because you do have to start somewhere.
True that. But I mean, I'm trying to figure him out, because first you give them that, and when they ask you, you say, well, gay people just have to refrain from doing what they do. I mean, you never hear that from straight people. The straight people got to refrain from being straight. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and this is why I think...
And I think that he is not capable to...
Good, I think, to have more out gays in sports, because if the teams say, you know, from other countries, they have prominent athletes who say, you know, we're not going to subject ourselves to this abuse, then maybe the guys who play with them, who have gotten to know them, will say, you know, we're going to support our teammates, we don't want to go to this place. And then I think the athletes themselves, or people within sports, can also put pressure on the president of FIFA and others to, like, say, this is unacceptable, a lot more has to be done. I mean, it's a start, but I basically think that there needs to be more internal pressure too, and that more athletes, regardless of their sexual orientation, should come out and say, we don't support this, we don't take this. You know, fans in Mexico City, you can't do this, or else we just can't do this.
Right.
We're not fans that we love you. We don't want this behavior from our fans. You're not a fan of us if you do this.
Well, you know, there's two professional gay soccer players, Robert Rogers, that came out in 2013, plays with the LA Galaxy, and Thomas Hitzpenser from Germany.
Yes.
And they both are up in arms against FIFA, and they feel very discriminated against. So.
Well, just them coming out like that, I meant, although obviously they need more support, just them coming out and making those statements can lead to more things coming out. Maybe as more gay people, both inside and outside of sports, speak out, maybe advertisers will feel differently about whether they want to sponsor these events if they feel that this is being discriminatory against gays, which it is. So sometimes when people come out, I think eventually, as more people speak out against it, you'll have more pressure and more action.
And we can talk about this forever, because it's a very deep subject, you know.
It is.
And it hurts a lot of communities. But let's talk about the breaking news in Los Angeles. We're finally getting an NFL team after 20 years. You know, we're getting our all-round teams back. They were here in Anaheim, and then they left.
Yes.
And now we're getting them back. And next year, they'll be here. And they have this wonderful new stadium. If our director can show the pictures of what they're going to do, the project that Inglewood is doing.
Yes.
You know, and I think it is fantastic. This billionaire, he is putting up all this money. There's no money coming from the city and to pay for this. So he's paying himself with a couple other sponsors, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And we were talking earlier about development and how much this stadium is going to bring, you know, over 40,000 jobs or something like that, and how the job drought is going to go from 15% to about 9%. So the unemployment, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I just want to know one thing. Is Inglewood a separate city, or is it a part of the city of LA? Because I know, like...
Well, it's kind of part of LA, but it's at the same time it's a separate city.
It's a separate city, so it's in LA County.
Right.
So then that's good, because what I don't know, for people who don't know LA, I meant there are some wealthy cities that are not a part of the city of Los Angeles, like Beverly Hills.
Right.
But there are a lot of, in LA County, there are poor cities like Compton that have no tax base, and or they have a very low tax base. So services for things like education or other public services are pretty bad because they have no tax base. So having a huge stadium there and the real estate development that'll happen because of the stadium and the sports and all the investment will build up Inglewood's tax base. So it'll have more money for things like schools or other services like sanitation or police. And then I think that just by the stadium being there, it'll put Inglewood on the map. So real estate investors will invest a lot of money in areas in the stadium and build things like shopping malls, more houses. I've seen this happen in other cities like New York, where I'm from. They built the Barclays Stadium in downtown Brooklyn, which not too long ago was still a bad area.
Right.
But after the Barclays Stadium, around the Barclays Stadium, now that it's open, and now that you have sports teams playing in there and entertainment venues, office buildings and condos and luxury apartments and all these new things are going up in the area. It's very nice. And even in Queens, City Field, where a few years ago they built City Field there, and now the Mets owners are building a shopping mall there and housing. That's going through the court process, but they are building, as soon as the litigation around it is resolved, they're going to build like a big shopping mall and housing. So the whole area is being developed. So stadiums in big cities like totally improve areas. They put these areas on the map. Real estate investors can come in. People want to live in them again and do business there.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it also displaces a whole bunch of people.
They do.
True or not?
They do. So maybe like people in the community can work on finding ways that for people in the community to get jobs, like in the construction, or maybe get jobs at the stadium, or have like job training, get other jobs, because one problem these communities have is like a lack of good education. But there are ways that they can work this into the development where more people from the community can be a part of the money coming in from the development.
Well, hopefully, I mean, Inglewood is excited.
Yes.
You know, the whole LA area is basically excited because we finally getting an NFL team after 20 years.
Of course.
Their stadium is not going to be built until a couple of years from now, so they're going to end up playing at the Coliseum, which that's where the Raiders were playing.
Yes.
And also, we're waiting for San Diego to see if San Diego is going to make the move. If San Diego doesn't make the move, then the Raiders are able to then make the move.
Okay.
So we are looking to have two teams. You know,
that would totally be awesome for LA. And then think about like all the tourists. That's Inglewood is close to LAX.
Right.
So if you want to fly in and see a game, you will be able to. A lot of hotels around there, and I'm sure individual people in their homes, like if you own your own home in Inglewood, people will just Airbnb out rooms. So like individual homeowners who are working class will be making a lot of money too. They're going to Airbnb.
That's true. Well, Justin, thank you for coming. Our time has flown so fast. It's already time to say goodbye. I hope you enjoy your stay in LA, and I hope you come back to see us.
I will, and I love LA, and I love you, and thank you for having me.
No, it's our pleasure.
Okay.
And for everybody out there, see you next week, same time, same channel. Hasta la vista, baby. Sayonara.